Hello, everyone. Welcome back to D3 Crashout. So, I don't know if this is where the origins of these ideas came from. So, it's the reason why I put it in D3 instead of D1, in case you were curious. But there is this idea that when you have a routine, in which, generally speaking, routine is good, your body responds well to consistency and it doesn't adapt immediately to circumstances, right? Like if it's a one off, it's a one off, right? You get adrenaline for very tense moments, but you're not always on adrenaline. It's very unsustainable. And you're not always going to have high blood pressure or a high heart rate. You only do that if you consistently eat the really sugary foods and your microbiome doesn't change unless you really consistently eat junk food or you really consistently eat the good food, right? So, as a general idea, body responds well to consistency, which would make routine a good thing, especially with your brain, right? Your circadian rhythm takes 3 days. For you to actually get your fitness gains, you feel the soreness in about 2, and you recover an additional 1 to 2 days. You can feel fatigue over the course of weeks, and if you recover, you're also going to be doing your recovery cycles likely in the course of weeks. So there is this balance where your body values routine in terms of a way to grow and develop and actually live out your life in such a way that is actively beneficial for you and your personal development. That being said, your brain also values novelty. It'll slow time down, it likes processing new things, it values curiosity because there is potential in the unknown, right? You don't gain anything new by doing things exactly the same. You push yourself to failure, you push yourself a little bit harder. If you always stay in the 12 rep range with the same weight, you might get better muscular endurance if you consistently do it every single day, but that every single day is a change. And by not pushing your limits, you don't actually grow or develop anything. You merely maintain. Besides of course, the development in your mind, you might improve your mind muscle connection with that routine, with that consistency, but that is a change that you make every day, right? It's an intentional choice to do something every single day, which you might have not done otherwise. So, again, greatly over explaining what routine truly means, but people love to invent. People love to feel special, to feel like they are their own individual person, that they have something unique that they offer the world, and that is novelty, right? That's something that is already rare, and if it is uniquely yours, it's scarce, it's inherently valuable, right? To not only have something which is scarce, right, which is rare, which is special, which would make it more valuable, that is also useful, right? Like developing a good skill to a very strong degree, like being a researcher or being really well versed in a field or being a salesperson who accurately predicts the market, right? Wall Street. So having something which is not only valuable but also getting rewarded for doing new things, things that other people do not do immediately, that is novelty. And that could be inventors, right? That could be research. I personally am very excited about research. That could be reaching a new rank or a new height that you've never met before, like a new PR, right? That's something which is new. And if you hit that again, it doesn't make you as happy. But if you reach improvement again, then it does make you happy. So those big bursts of improvement, which you have to get through routine, is what I refer to as the curse of routine and novelty, where in order to get novelty, you genuinely need routine, but routine is boring until the novelty occurs. So, what does that mean? Absolutely nothing. That means use the routine in order to attain the novelty. The goal is the novelty, the method is the routine, but they're not clashing as even though they inherently are, right? Like in order to experience something new, you need to break the routine. You need to do something new. But in order to get personal improvement, you need to follow the routine and do something new within that routine, like pushing yourself in the gym, perhaps, or going on an even longer run, which causes you to break that bottleneck, right? Or you push yourself harder. And I don't feel like it's something which is particularly intentional. So I like to treat them like they're two completely separate ideas, but routines, that's the building blocks for you to attain novelty. You set what the bar is currently, and then you're able to grow and develop off of it. And that's kind of the whole point. Now, where this falls through is where if you have no routine and you only chase what's novel. I'm starting a new hobby every single day, or I do a new startup and I just don't give it enough time to develop and fester. It's very common for people to say that good things take time, or things that are worthwhile take time. And the reason that exists is because it doesn't take that much time at all to learn a new skill or get the ins and outs of a new video game or a sport, anything, right? It's sports, hopefully, learning, materials, education, they are designed for people to be able to learn them. But in order to be really good at something, you either have to be a very good learner, or you have to be able, right, being able to learn faster than other people, or it just has to be an area which people haven't really discovered before, and no one can be better than you if nobody else knows what the thing you're doing, right? There's some very niche speed running out there. But the bottom line is, people are going to catch up eventually, and there is no beating around the bush. There's no way to have to get around the work. You might learn faster than other people. You might be able to build off of the building block that someone else made, but you still have to learn and then develop in the ways that are valuable. And if you do not commit yourself to that time, right? If you do not have that consistency, if you do not have that routine, that regimen, you will not be able to catch up to the person who does. And that is everything to say that you need to both have routine with the active pursuit and practice of novelty. But you can't have one or the other and expect growth. You need to have both. And that is the true curse, that we like to treat them like two separate things, that you need to have routine in order to develop, and that you need to have novelty in order to actually experience something new. But no, it's both. The routine is the medium for novelty, and novelty is the reason why you have routine, or you can't have novelty if you don't have a routine, because your routine is to always chase something novel, and you can't have routine without the active pursuit of novelty, because you need to start somewhere, and it has to be new at some point, and you need to grow at some point based off of some routine. So they're dependent. Or if you're a big math nerd, I think that would be directly variated, or a branch of joint variation. So directly varies, I believe. So yes. And the other thought experiment that this has to do is with the reference of time or perspective. When you have something which is routine, your brain doesn't have to process as much, and it comes more naturally, right? Which means that you don't have to think very much, right? If you optimize your nervous system very well, they say that you can get all the way down to 100 milliseconds reaction time. And that's because your body doesn't even have to think about it. You don't have to send a signal which your brain hasn't, covered very often. You just do it. And you don't even think about it. It's instinct. It's muscle memory. It's way easier for the muscles to react than to send a signal to the brain to send a signal back down to the muscles, right? That's like if you ever gutted a fish, and sometimes you hit a nerve and the fish starts flopping around and like, I thought it was dead, right? Muscle memory, it's a thing. And skipping the brain entirely is significantly faster. But that is just a good analogy to describe that when you have something novel, when you have something routine, that means things happen faster. And that includes your life perspective as well. Like if you have a 9 to 5, and if you ever notice that you do it a lot, you might notice that your 9 to 5 goes by very fast. But if you rave or if you party and you don't abuse substance, you might notice that time moves very slow because you are processing things a lot slower. And it's because you have to actually intentionally think about things, and it slows your worldview down, right? You can't just be on autopilot and go through the motions. So that is your curse, to balance. To not only need routine, but to also need novelty in order to attain either. All right. That's all, folks. Have a great day.